Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
What is up guys, G here, welcome back to another video. Hope everyone is having a great one. I have a Polestar GGPI stock update to get you guys ready for the week ahead. First, let me just say I am really in love with the new space metallic black color that is coming out with some of the other updates for Polestar. If you guys appreciate these Polestar 2 updates and these videos, take a second and let me know by simply just hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Also, comment down your thoughts on these updates. I would love to hear your thoughts. I did make a separate video on that, so check that out if you want to learn more. As for today, I just want to cover some news that recently came out. Also, we do have some upcoming events that I think could put some eyes on Polestar. And lastly, we'll take a quick look at the chart and give you guys my take on some technical analysis. Now today, I won't be sharing any options flow data, but if you guys are interested in seeing the direction of large fund option orders, definitely check out the link in the description. It will help you guys get an edge in trading options. And if you guys use my referral link, you will actually save a little bit for any paid subscription. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. Actually, before we get started with today's news, I want to give you guys an update on one of the topics from our last Polestar video. I mentioned that the Polestar had stopped taking orders due to high demand, but they had plans to reopen sometime in May. I also said this could be seen as a negative. In the short term, it could be used as a negative press, but I do believe that they will be able to get over this small setback. I also said it could be a positive, showing a lot of demand for the vehicle, and as of today, you can see that they have reopened their website configurations for the Polestar 2. Just wanted to give you guys that update. I also did post it in the community post in case you missed it, and I did receive some dislikes on that last video, but just know that I'm always going to keep things as honest as I can and not only say what people need to hear. So I hope you guys appreciate that and continue watching, but I do understand if this channel is not for you. So today I have a few topics I want to share with you guys. The first one being that Polestar did open their first showroom in New Zealand. This actually just came out today or this morning. Now this won't be Polestar's first showroom. They've already opened a few across different markets, but I do think this one is a little significant just because of the location. But I'll give you guys a little more info on New Zealand later in the video. And if I said showroom, I'm sorry, I meant a space. This one's going to be open in Newmarket, Auckland, and just like the Polestar, the showrooms are going to be very minimal, which I guess also is going to cut down on some of the costs since they don't need to put so much money into making it look fancy. And it also represents Polestar well, as you know, they are mainly focused on delivering, really emphasizing that their mission is not to impress, it's just to actually deliver and help move the world to electric vehicles. In the showroom, they do have a few Polestars just for show. They even have one with the roof rack, which just kind of shows the diversity and all the possibilities available for Polestar. And it also kind of helps showcase some of the colors and the extra options that they can add. And in the back, they have an area where customers can pick up their new cars. The manager for the showroom says that this move to a permanent home couldn't come at a better time, and I'll actually expand on that a little bit better in just a second. But he also says that they are seeing extremely high demand for the Polestar 2, which is great to see, which I guess also reiterates why they had to shut down the configurations for the Polestar on their website. So he also said that they are very confident the Polestar 2 will become a very favorable and well received. It's showing a high level of interest, and a lot of people actually want to drive and own one, which is farly exceeding their expectations. So nothing too surprising there. Obviously, we know that there's a lot of demand for the Polestar 2, and they're actually working really hard to meet the demands to be able to get these people the test drives and the inquiries. They went even as too far as to say that they already actually surpassed their initial sales targets for 2022. So that is really going to help contribute the overall 2022 goals that Polestar has set for themselves. And I will also add that he said that New Zealand has actually secured a good supply of the Polestar 2s, so it looks like they'll have plenty of vehicles to sell, at least in the short term. And from here you can see that I did highlight this EV registration for April. Polestar actually placed number 1 as far as the electric vehicles. They delivered 81 units, which is not great, but for the electric delivery vehicles, they placed number 1. They beat Nissan, which delivered 71 units, and Hyundai, which delivered 70 units. They did say that Polestar's prices remain unchanged. I think that is going to change. As you can see from the last video, they did like a $4,000 increase, but they're still going to be eligible for like the full $8,625 clean car rebate, which is actually something else that I want to get into, guys, and explain to you guys why I do think that the showroom and expanding into New Zealand is actually a great idea. So a little bit of what's going on in New Zealand's vehicle market. They actually posted record-setting sales in March, but then this past month in April, they actually took a huge slump, and that is because of the clean car discount fees that came into effect on the first day of April. So a huge amount of sales actually tumbled in dramatic fashion during April, actually going as far as saying that it was the weakest month calendar since 2015. So this policy that went into effect is actually bad for the ICE vehicles and all the legacy cars, but it's actually a good program for all the electric vehicles. As you can see, they are going to be getting some discounts, which I mentioned I think was $8,600. And so despite the bad news, Polestar should continue to perform well in this market. There was a total of 572 vehicles sold for April, and out of those units, like I said, the top 3 selling vehicles were Polestar, Nissan, and Hyundai, where Polestar delivered 81 units, Nissan delivered 71, and Hyundai delivered 70. So in my opinion, I think it's great that Polestar actually started penetrating this market early. Since this policy just went into effect recently, Polestar is trying to get an edge and a head start. Now initially, not a lot of people are going to transition, but I think over time these fees are going to add up and people will be more convinced to make the switch to an electric vehicle, and hopefully Polestar is well established in this market by then, and then gradually this will give them more recognition over time as they start to see more Polestar vehicles on the road. So that is the first topic I wanted to cover. The next thing is that we do have some big events coming up this week for just the electric vehicle sector in general. Obviously, the electric vehicle stocks have not really performed very well, and there's not really a good sign of a recovery just yet. Even with really good earnings from Tesla and some of the other vehicles, even Lucid I think did decent in their earnings. But this week the EV stocks could be back on the spotlight, especially for like a long-term potential. There's going to be this FT Future of the Car Summit this week. Big names like Tesla and CEO Elon Musk are going to be appearing, and even appearances by the chiefs of Lucid Group, and surprisingly even the Polestar team is going to make an appearance. So I'm really excited for that. So hopefully we can get some updates on Polestar 3, maybe some autonomous driving, since that one should have some level of features or functionality related to that. But just in general, I think this summit's going to be related all to electric vehicles, autonomous technology, and short-term milestones. Not exactly sure what all Tesla will be presenting, but if they do present really well, they are trading around 30% below their all-time high, so any big announcements from them could definitely help rally some of the electric vehicle stocks this week. So I ended up looking further into the FT Future Summit, and it looks like Polestar is going to have 2 different slots or 2 sessions. The first one's going to be by Hans, the project lead of Project Zero. As you guys know, he has over 30 years of experience in the automotive industry. He's had positions as a technical director of Volvo, where he was part of the first electric vehicle for the Volvo group. And then in 2018, he transitioned to Polestar as the head of research and development before he took the role as project lead of the Zero project. This session is going to be on Tuesday, May 10th around 2:05. He's going to be presenting the net zero car. Is it possible to eliminate emissions altogether? He's just going to be talking about practical steps that are needed for the industry to take in order to meet these demands and these emission reduction targets. Honestly, I think this one might be a little bit boring for me, but it still could be some good exposure for Polestar. If anything big comes out of it, I'm sure they will do a press release. The one that I'm going to be more interested in is going to definitely be the second slot. There's going to be a presentation by our CEO, Thomas. As you guys know, he believes that the industry should accelerate to shift into zero emissions driving. He has tons of experience in the designer background. Thanks to his designer background, he isn't afraid to turn the industry and express Polestar's mission in designing towards a zero, sustainable, and seamless solution. So he also has a lot of experience in the automotive industry, a total of 20 years. He started working at top design positions in Audi, Volkswagen, and Skoda, so mainly focused on the European brands. In 2006, he was director of design for Volkswagen, where he designed all the brands of the Volkswagen group, and then in 2012, he joined Volvo, and since then, he's been with the Volvo and Polestar group. 2017 is when he joined Polestar, but he still holds dual roles as chief design officer for the Volvo group. So I think that's huge because he's still in connection and networking. Obviously, Polestar is owned by Volvo, but just having that dual role really does help Polestar in the long term. They'll be able to bounce ideas back and forth and share any designs and everything. So overall, in general, just a great CEO for the company. So his session will be on Wednesday, May 11th at 9 a.m. This is actually going to be at 3 a.m. my time, so I might not be awake for this one, but I do think there could be a press release in the morning or before market opens. So I'll definitely be watching GGPI on Wednesday just in case anything comes out. Not exactly sure what he's going to present in his presentation, but as you guys know the model, if it's not sustainable, it is not premium. So look forward to hearing from that. At the very least, just get an idea of the roadmap and maybe an update if they are still on track for 2022 as far as deliveries and design goals for this year. And the last thing I want to share with you guys is this Twitter email that came out just a few days ago from the Polestar Investor Relationships team. And if this email is true, then it looks like Polestar is on track to still complete the merger by the first half of 2022, which will be in line with our original guidance, which would be from the presentation. It also looks like they also did ask a question regarding something to the SEC. From the Polestar team, all they said is they can't really assume anything. Everything on their Polestar side has been done, at least from a technical point of view. They've updated the F4 files, the audited physical 2021 financials, and everything looks ready to go. So the amount of delays is not unique to the GGPI merger. It looks like it's just going to be a generic SPAC merger issue. So it looks like more of the fault is going to be on the SEC, since it looks to be a system-wide impact across the board. So in my opinion, this kind of does make sense and was a great idea that Polestar did extend that termination date, as I shared with you guys in a few videos ago, and that's just going to give them a little bit more time to be able to finalize the merger, especially now that we're just really waiting on the SEC to do their job. And lastly, since we're talking about emails, a while ago there was also another email thread about a potential May 15th merger shareholder meeting that would be announced. Don't know if that's still valid since the termination deadline did get extended, but May 15 will be next week, so definitely keep an eye out on GGPI. At least towards the end of the week, just kind of follow the volume and see if any volume picks up. It could be very unlikely, but there could be a potential initial run-up spike just in anticipation of that date or the announcement of a shareholder meeting date. Alright guys, I'm gonna wrap up the video by just giving you guys a quick breakdown of some key levels to watch on Polestar. Not a huge day as far as price action, closed at $10.72. The volume is starting to pick up a little bit. It's still around the average volume, so it's not great volume, but it is better than being underneath the average volume. As far as a few levels to watch, we are still on this ascending support. It is actually holding up quite well. As you can see, there's a few times when it comes down underneath this, but people seem to be buying this up as it comes to this $10.50-60. Obviously, from these levels, there's not too much downside. You have about 60 or 70 cents to the $10 redemption level. So this is definitely the area that I'm still watching to add more shares. Clearing some of that out, the main levels to definitely watch are going to be around $10.70. You can see that's going to be where our monthly level for May is. So in order for us to be bullish, we want to get above this level, 1070 and 1080. But the main target is definitely going to come around $11. That's going to indicate a change in trend, and we can hopefully come back up to around $12. But definitely the first goal is going to be able to hold 1070 and getting back above $11. The last thing that I want to share with you guys is going to be the OBV, because even though the price hasn't been really moving too much, you can see from the OBV that we are making higher highs now. This seems to have been the bottom on the 1 hour, and then we are actually retesting these levels. So hopefully looking to get back above this level here, and the main goal is going to definitely be breaking this level here for an uptrend back up to about $12-13. As you can see, once we get above this level, there is not too much resistance all the way back up to higher levels. So that is basically what I see in the chart, guys. If I'm missing something, definitely comment down below. Obviously $11 is the level to watch, and then areas that would be interesting to add shares would be down below here. And then again, the OBV on the 1 hour does seem to be making higher lows, so that'll be something else that I'll be watching. Well guys, that's going to about wrap up today's video. Just wanted to share some of the events that are coming up this week, as well as give you guys an update on some of the market expansion. If you guys have any questions or have any Polestar news, definitely put it in the comments below. I hope you guys found value in today's video. If you did, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely share this video with some of your other Polestar investors. Don't forget to check out the Unusual Wealth platform to help you guys with your options trading. You guys have a great day. I will see you guys in the next video, and as always, keep moving forward.